You know, most business owners register with Google, so they make this simple conclusion that because they get no calls straight away, Google My Business doesn't work. Well, I'm about to show you exactly what happens when you do start a business from scratch on Google and just do things the right way. And I'll show you how quickly you can get it ranking and get customers giving you a call. And I'm taking a real local business that had no marketing inquiries, they were paying for ads that didn't work, and it got so bad they even asked for a refund. And now the situation, well, he's turning away work. But the crazy thing is you can do that too for your business. And it doesn't take that long as well, as you'll see. And what's more, this step-by-step process I've used it again and again, and it works again and again. And that's why I've received comments like from this subscriber who just wants me to make a video that shows you how you can rank a Google business profile from scratch. And that's what this video is going to do for you today. So this is Lee, the owner of LaRue Window Cleaning Services. And I felt Lee was the perfect fit for this strategy because his business has been around for about 12 years. And as you'll see, he's tried all sorts of various ways of marketing, but nothing was really bringing any great success. So Lee, how's business going at the moment then?
It's not going as well as I'd like. I've been looking for different areas to advertise, but I've tried Yellow Pages and barely anything through that. Checker Trade, and it really didn't supply the need that I was looking for. Very little traffic, so that didn't work either. So yeah, looking for different areas to try and increase my work.
I mean, I reckon I could get things turning around pretty quickly for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a go. I've got nothing to lose. I'm pretty desperate in the sense of nothing's working at the moment, and I've tried canvassing as well, so I don't really fancy doing that again. So yeah, give it a go, and nothing else to lose. So yeah.
So I'd put in the work. I would accept the challenge. I would make his 12-year-old business see whether or not I could get it rating and ranking very quickly. And the strategy was quite simple. Could I get it to number one? Could I get inquiries coming through all the time? Could I get his business so there's a point where he was turning down business? And that would be done by just consistent posting and giving the right signals to Google. So the first thing is just to make sure it was registered with Google, which it was, to add me as a manager, which we did, and we were away and off we go. And you've probably already got your business set up, but if you haven't, then obviously I've got plenty of videos on here that will show you how to do that. Okay, so this is my plan for Lee, is to really do no clever stuff, but it's just to really get it authentic before Google, and also just to update it on a regular basis, week to week. And that just means regular content, relevant content, photos regularly updated, reviews coming in on a basis of really that's consistent, and also just making sure that the profile has got 100% approval by Google. So I set about getting photos from Lee as he was out and about doing his work. I'd ask him to take videos, take photos, ask customers would they mind just giving them a review and just sharing that review link with them as well. So it's quite a simple basis to start with. But I also needed to understand what was working. So I had to look at his competition and see what they were doing, see how hard it was to rank against them. And once I understood what the competition was doing to get to number one, I would also improve and just do it better. You know, the challenge is you put a lot of work in the first few weeks and nothing happens. But without a website and very little reviews, that's obviously going to be the case. And at this stage, I knew that Lee was probably thinking, this isn't really going to work, but he was just going along with it. And this is something that most business owners seem to struggle with, and it's probably why they end up going to Google Ads and paying for traffic, because they see then immediate results. I was then in contact with Lee and he asked me, could he blast out loads of emails to get lots and lots of reviews in? Would that make a difference? And you know, again, that's something that most people try to do, but actually it doesn't always give great results, because suddenly if you've gone from nothing to say 20 reviews coming in, Google just immediately thinks something's spammy, and it will often then shut down the business. And that's fair enough, because Google's saying, well, that's not really how life works in business. That if you're an authentic business, then it should happen on a natural basis. You'd expect reviews to come in once or twice a week, not 20 in one go. So what we're trying to do is make things natural and not get those alarm bells ringing at Google's office. So a couple of weeks go by and Lee's been asking for reviews. They've been trickling in and it's been going well. And one of the other things is just to ask for photos from those reviewers if they can. And that always makes a difference too. Anyway, I felt Lee was trusting my judgment. We started to get 1 or 2 calls coming in. And this was now the beginning of a change. So within a month, things were turning around. So each week we're putting a new post, we'd use a few keywords, we were getting a couple of phone calls, things were beginning to grow. The authority was beginning to build in Google. We added a free website that Google gives you, we added a better description, we started adding a few little pages to that website. In fact, everything we did was recorded last year. So the playlist, where I'll put a link above now, where if you wanted to find out all the details of how we went about in detail of each of the changes, then it's all recorded there, so you can watch that from beginning right down to the end. So the plan, just to remind you, was to be authentic and to update regularly week after week. And we were sticking to that, and it was beginning to show. So when I next caught up with Lee a few weeks later, this is what he had to say, and you can see a big difference.
To be honest, I'm really surprised. I've been using my Google Business now with Zane, and I've just been inundated with calls. I've been getting several calls a week. It's almost got to the point where it's a bit too much to handle. The results are just there. I've just had so much work, I just can't believe it. It's great. It's really, really good.
And what type of inquiries have you had then, Lee?
Generally, most of the work has been direct phone calls. They've got my details. They've been in touch with me directly, and a lesser part of that has been directly through my Google Business app. They've contacted me through that, and they're local within the area that I work. It's gone really, really well. I can't believe it. It's great.
And suddenly Google just goes, okay, you are authentic, and it now starts to rank you. And because you're real, and I've got real customers that are looking for real businesses, then it puts the genuine business and the genuine customer together. They're looking for you and your services, and now Google trusts you and puts you forward. And then it gives signals. If the people then find that they contact you, they phone you, they look for directions, and they then are satisfied with the fact that you are who you say you are, an authentic business, then suddenly that gives all the right signals to Google to keep promoting you. So what was it I discovered that caused this perfect match, like a tango together? Well, this growth just comes from understanding that rather than trying to please Google, just try and please your clients, your customers, and get them to feed that back through Google and through Google Business Profile. And soon the two work hand in hand. Google wants right businesses to get to number one. It wants authentic businesses, trustworthy businesses. And so what I discovered was that first, most businesses don't stick at it. They give it a few weeks, they don't see any response, and they just give up. So don't give up, keep going. It takes about a month or so before you'll really see great results. And bearing in mind, it only takes about 30 minutes a week to update a few photos, to add a post, and maybe get a couple of reviews when you're doing your work. And then secondly, keep it real, keep it authentic and trustworthy. Don't try and shortcut it, because Google recognizes that, and the spam filters are designed to stop that happening. I learned that genuine, unique content, unique photos, genuine businesses being reviewed, they all get a great response from Google over time. And what's more is I tried this again and again on different businesses, not just LaRue window cleaning, and it worked as well. I found that every time I tried it, it just worked. As you can see, again and again and again, the results are there. People are too distracted. They haven't got the time to focus on putting the information into Google, making sure it's maintained, making sure it's up to date. And if you look at your competition, you'll see the bulk of the profiles, they get registered and then nothing happens to them. They perhaps just get a couple of responses and then they're left. And the thing with Google Business Profile is it's changing all the time. Google wants it to be the dominant way in which people find businesses locally. So it's an investment where if you can continue to get to the top, it's a lot easier to maintain. And so the purpose of my channel is to give you that ability to know what new changes come along and how you can improve in your authority to make sure you're doing the things that are going to benefit your business. But the thing is you can't control Google. The algorithm's changing all the time, and what Google demands from businesses is getting more greater and requires a higher standard. And as I was planning to put together this video to help you, you'll never guess what happened next. And you know it's happening to other genuine businesses. Suspension. Now, if you want to know how to get your business reinstated from a suspension, then you need to watch this video next.